What's going on, everybody? We are back. It's your friend Will. This is the Memory Lapse, and we are going to try out another best of one deck today. Just because we're on vacation, we just feel like kind of lazing around and playing some best of one. I'm not super interested right now in playing sideboard decks, so thinking of what would be good in best of one, considering how aggressive it is. We already did Grixis. We went 10-3 across two events. We went 10-0 into 0-3, which is, I think, showed how good that deck can be, and I think we can further tune it, which I'll probably work on the side. But here's a deck that I've been meaning to play with that I think is really well-positioned, or potentially well-positioned for best of one, which is the green-white Carnage Tyrant deck with On Serra's Wings in the main deck. And this card, in conjunction with like Vine Mare, which also has hexproof, Carnage Tyrant, obviously, and even some of the smaller stuff, not only will stabilize you against a lot of these aggressive decks, but it's just going to close the game out super quick. So I think it's just worth giving this a try to see where it ends up. We also run 6 Planeswalkers, so we have the ramp, 4 Elves, 3 Druid, and 3 Flourish also. So we're going to be hitting our mana for our Planeswalkers fairly consistently. So this mana base 14, 18, 22, 23. So I think, in theory we could shave 1 land here and go down to 22. And probably the Arch is the candidate for that. So if we're going to go down to 22, I would just add another Druid to the Cowl here and go like that. And this is a concession just to the way best of one works with the algorithm. 23 is not giving you any extra value there. But 2 lands plus any of these 8 mana creatures should help us power into our 4 drops, 5 drops, and 6 drops. So, without too much more explanation, let's just see how it plays. Oh, this is a mulligan. We got Delta 1 lander. But this is one we can keep. On the play, I think we even want to keep that Carnage Tyrant. We're just going to try to ramp Elf into Vivien. Any land we draw here is good. Wow. Okay. So they're on some kind of green-black budget build. That I imagine we can't really lose to if we just draw straight land here. But I mean, this is how it works usually when we switch decks. We end up mulliganing and getting stuck. But we're not under a ton of pressure. Even Slimy doesn't do too much here. Alright, land off the top. We'll shock it, and let's just bind this guy before he gets out of control. We're happy to take 2. If we draw another land, we can play Tristani, and that should stabilize the board for us relatively well. And that'll set us up for a Vivien Reid, or if we draw further land, Carnage Tyrant. Oh, Fungal Infection, come on. This player has the mono, hateful draw for the Llanowar Elves deck. Yuck. Well, if I'm going to give a loss in a situation like this, I'd much rather give it to someone who's on a budget deck than someone who's playing a fully kitted out tier 1 deck. I don't want to give them free wins. Alright, let's make a blocker. Alright, they got me. Well, we basically didn't play Magic that game, which is too bad. But, I mean, that's actually not true. We kept 4 mana sources, and our opponent had removal, and we were punished for it, so that's going to happen. Let's hope that we don't mulligan this one. This we can keep. This is pretty slow, but at least we actually have lands to cast anything that we draw. And we'll have to decide about flowering. I think we will, just to thin our deck a little bit. We can decide next turn. If we draw another land, we might not want to flower. So at that point, marching into Flourish becomes an option. Tristani. So I think we definitely want to get to our 5th land drop, so we're going to use this here. Take the hit this turn, Ixalan Binding next turn, and then set that up into Tristani and Vivien. Like, this is a pretty good Ixalan Binding target. Oh, especially if they keep that on top. Nice. That's pretty free. The 1 Ixalan Binding coming through here. Oh, so they must have more removal in their hand, or they just think that we're a very creature-like deck. But either way, we're going to jam Tristani. Quite good at blocking and establishing a board presence for us. Ooh, they played nothing? That's sick. If they play nothing, we're going to play Vivien. And start plussing. And let's just get Temple Garden. Oh shit, I thought we had not played a land yet. Don't really care about that card. We can race that damage and that life gain pretty easily with March. Let's find a creature. Druid. We're just going to flood the board because we're getting closer to doing Vivien ult here. We just want to have as much big stuff on the board as possible. We have a March for 3 here also, but we don't need to pull the trigger on March yet. We can wait until next turn before we're gonna ult. Well, now we might not be able to ult. But I think we do want to wait for the biggest March possible. On Serra's Wings. Let's kill this. And we're just going to suit up the Vine Mare and dome them for 7. Get some lifelink in. Boom. We can even Karn here, just for fun. Now this is a Nombo. You can't play it on the same thing because it makes it legendary, so you have to be careful to spread it out. But we're in a good spot here. Even if they have Carnage Tyrant now, we can race it with this Vine Mare. Alright, I mean, we can just kill that, so it's not even a blocker. It actually can't even block because it says can't be blocked by black creatures. But let's just kill it anyways. We don't need a third on Serra's wings. We're just going to kill him with March here. Let's get him for 7. Right. We're at a pretty comfortable 28. We can march for 11. So that's 22 power worth of tokens with the Tristani. Ooh, they have Vivien of their own. No. They found the concession button. Yeah, so like I said, I think On Serra's Wings is pretty good at closing out games quickly. And that differential, like the lifelink, is just enormous on it. Cards like this are great because they really punish... punish is not the right word, but they really illustrate what a design mistake hexproof can be. You print an effect like On Serra's Wings and it can get out of control. So we've got Druid into Vine Mare with Ixalan Binding backup. This game could script out very similarly to the last one, where if we find On Serra's Wings, it could just get out of control really quickly onto a hexproof creature. Opt. I'm pretty sure if this is the Izzet deck, they really don't have a way to deal with a Vine Mare if it resolves. Alright, Electromancer. Let's play Druid. These builds tend to not play Lightning Strike, so I expect the Druid will stay in play, so we can just tap out for Vine Mare next turn. If they tap out for Drake, we binding it. Oh, they played Lava Coil. I forgot that. If this is the Vivien build that plays 4 Lava Coil, then it's a little bit slower, which I think bodes well for us. We don't in particular want to keep drawing land. This is about where we want to stop. We just want to see spells from here on out. Alright, looks like they're going to drop a Drake on us then. Yeah. So I do think it's worth just putting the binding on this now, while they don't have the mana to defend it in case they are running things like a dive down. They won't really have a way to get it out from under there unless they are playing like a Blink from an Eye, Blink of the Eye, which they could have. But we're also not in a huge rush to get the Vine Mare down at this point. Not a huge difference. Okay. I think we're happy to block. If they want to shock us, that's okay. Yeah, this is fine. A little too much land, though. Though I think we can very easily just win this game with a on Serra's Wings. Like, they're just not going to be able to beat this Vine Mare with that. Another Druid of the Cowl. I get the message. Unfortunately, we really cannot trade the Vine Mare into this Enigma Drake. Oh, we just flooded out this game. We only drew lands and Druid of the Cowls, and it just feels like if we had drawn one more like reasonable spell, we probably could have won this. It is a bit the downside of playing these decks that are pretty all in, but you assume that you're playing 22 lands, that you're not going to flood out that much. But it still happens. And it's small sample size, so if we scrub out this run, we'll just start another one to see. Because this is literally the first 2 games I played with this, or the first 3 games I played with this deck. But this definitely makes me think that cutting down to 22 was correct so far. Still small sample size, but... Well, luckily they don't have like any huge backbreaking follow-ups here. They're down to 1 card in hand. They can bash us for 9. Oh, this is a really disciplined attack by them. Alright, yeah, so 9 puts us on dead next turn. We need to pretty much exactly draw on Serra's Wings here. We just drew another land, so we concede. The all Monosaurus draw is just not going to get it done against the Arclight Phoenix deck. These games have been pretty quick, so let's go one more. 17 minutes, so we can definitely do this one. We've had 2 kind of non-games and 1 game where we played a good mix of lands and spells and crushed a green-black deck, so still too early to say. This is kind of risky, but I don't think we can mulligan it. We have lands and 8 different mana creatures, so 20 plus 8, so more than half the deck is going to help us at this point. Oh, and the flowers. So we have 31 draws here that help us get to Jade Light Ranger. And let's just watch our deck deny us. Nice, perfect. So let's Jade Light. Jade Light into 2 lands is beautiful. A 3 mana 2/1 draw 2 is exactly like the type of broken card that we want in this type of deck. Huh. I think we're just going to play Karn here. We could also have gone the Llanowar Elves Carnage Tyrant line, but I think Karn sets us up better in the long game. We're going to get to Carnage Tyrant either way. They're probably not going to be able to beat Carnage Tyrant and on Serra's Wings anyways. History. The Karn. They give us land. Land Elves. Pass. We can march for 3 here if we want to. Just to keep protecting the Karn. And since we're probably going to go Carnage Tyrant next turn into On Serra's Wings, this is maybe the best opportunity we're going to have to cast a March for a reasonable size. We won't have the mana next turn. And we really won't have as much the turn after we play On Serra's Wings. I don't think. Oh, there's not even attacking, huh? Interesting. Maybe they have a Conclave Tribunal here or something like that in their second main phase. They're just going to do a March. We'll play March of our own. Alright, we get another land. Just keep powering through the deck here. Carnage Tyrant. So the scariest thing they can do is land Flower, and I think we can just line up blocks where we don't even come close to dead. We don't have to sacrifice our Carnage Tyrant. Or land Flourish, I mean. Oh, they're going this route. Yikes. Okay. It's a nice draw 6. It's a bit of a waste of their Chapter 3 turn. We don't have anything down here that's worth getting, right? Alright, finally, 2 spells. They give us Vivien Reid. So we can play that next turn. More likely we're just going to grab our March next turn and just make a huge pool of blockers. Alright. This is a little scary. If they marched for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they would make 5, 4, 4 angels. That's a little scary. Wow, they just have it. Okay. That's a nice draw. Alright, we have to get rid of this enchantment. Let's go get the March because it's very good. Play a white source so we can settle them. I have a feeling they're going to want to attack with these angels to at least take the planeswalkers off the board and start putting pressure on us. Yeah, they're going to make an attack here. That's sick for us. Is this just going to be a jam with everybody? Oh, lordy. Bloop. They get a boatload of lands, but 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We can march for 2. So we get them, crack them back for exactly lethal. Nice. That's why you have the 2 settle the wreckage in the main there. Alright, so we fought back. The games where we played stuff, specifically the games where we played on Serra's Wings, we have won. Though that one is really more a victory in the column for settle. But 2 and 2, decent start. Not great. We can't really give another loss, but we're going to keep it going. I hope you enjoyed. This is a little bit different from the decks we've been playing recently. And, you know, one of the interesting things about this deck, and we should talk about this at the end of the series, is that I think that there's a build of this deck that's very budget friendly, and we should look at that. And maybe that would be an interesting thing. You know, comment below if you'd be interested in seeing, like, probably there is a budget green-white deck that you can metagame to consistently get to, like, 5 wins in best of 1. I don't think it plays Karns or Vivien Reids. I think it's more creature-focused. I do think you'd probably need Marches because this card is broken, and you'd possibly need Carnage Tyrant. So Vine Mare might be a fine substitute for it at 4 mana. So let's put that in our hat. Put a little feather in our hat for later on after the series is done, and talk about how to make a budget version of this. And also, like, what would you consider budget for Arena? Like, no more than 20 rares? Like, what's fair? Like, I think you do need to build the land base, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. Anyways, we're gonna go on to the next video. We're gonna keep playing, but we have to end this one here. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will be back again shortly.